Hello and welcome to another update video about DOT. DOT rather quiet at the moment, has seen a little bit of upside in the last few days together with the overall crypto market, but just take a look at the structure. It is very weak, weaker than, let's say, Bitcoin, weaker than some other coins. Hasn't really moved significantly, and to be honest, it resembles a little bit maybe the short-term count on the Ethereum chart, but Ethereum has performed much better. So it really still looks a little bit corrective. We want to uncover the relevant levels and the key levels here on this chart. And when we could potentially conclude that a low has formed here in the structure. And I mean, the low might have formed in this current correction, which started on the 26th of December, but I cannot confirm it. All right. So let's talk about what we need to see again. So again, we still have the two scenarios on the chart in which in the yellow count, this here might be an expanding diagonal pattern. Difficult structure. Yeah, it would mean that the wave 5 is an ABC structure. That is extremely difficult anyway. And in the white count, A, B, C, we could still be in the correction in this B wave. Okay, it might get one more low into the yellow support zone. But also that is a difficult structure because while this is also bullish and both are bullish against the $4.39 support level, it is currently unclear what would happen after the ABC structure. So that's the problem. Yeah, both counts aren't great. Okay, I mean, okay, that hasn't got anything to do with the count. It's just that the chart doesn't really give us very clear, a very clearly bullish scenario. And yes, I'm focusing on both of them as bullish cases, and they are both bullish, but especially with the white count after an initial ABC structure to the upside, literally anything could happen. So it just means we need to be on the side of caution. Therefore, let's focus on the short term. Let's focus on what we can see right now. And we can see a correction started here on the 26th of December. We could add a trend line to this to get an understanding of where we actually are here. And you can see we have 3 touch points. There's a trend line that is currently being touched and tested. And I mean, there's a bit of a breakout point, right? Exactly here. So DOT is at a bit of a breakout point. Now, is it really super bullish when we break the trend line? Well, depends on if you're a breakout trader or not. From an Elliott Wave point of view, I would see only a 3-wave rally. Yeah. And there is still a resistance area above, which I mentioned in previous videos. So let's talk about what this structure suggests. In the bearish, short-term bearish scenario, this could simply be an A, B, C structure. And we have a resistance area all the way up to $7.95. This is simply standard resistance, but you can see how relevant it is. The market already reacted to that 50% fib level here on the 29th of January, and we are approaching that level again. And if it pushes higher this time, then we have $7.48 and $7.95 as Fibonacci resistance. Okay, what does it mean if we break above that level? Not too much really, but it's just an area to watch where the price could get rejected in the current B wave corrective rally that we have on the chart, because we're dealing here with potentially a WXY structure, which in the white count, in the short-term bearish count, could send us down lower. And this would be an A, B, C structure. Now, we know that B waves can easily overshoot. So I wouldn't worry so much about the resistance, but I have it on the chart because the market reacted to it already, and there's a good chance we see another reaction. But it obviously helps from a bullish point of view to break above it, right? Now, to really break out, I need to see a break above the X wave high, which is at $8.60. But it takes the right structure as well. So we need to see 5 waves up. How would 5 waves look like? So basically, until I have 5 waves, I need to assume that the correction is still unfolding, or at least it's not clearly bullish. At least it's not clearly bullish. We can add a short-term bullish scenario to the chart. How would that look like? Well, it would be a wave 1 to the upside here in 3 waves. So we're dealing with a diagonal. Similar to ETH, I need to see therefore all 5 waves completed. It's basically let the 3 waves play out, but in addition to that, I need to see a 4-5. So that is how 5 waves would look like. But we don't just want to place the waves randomly. We want to use the correct Fibonacci extensions that normally need to be respected. That gives us a roadmap and some levels to watch. Let me do this. And then we hide the levels that we don't need. Yeah, because for a third wave, minimum expectations would be for the price to reach the 1.236 extension. So it needs to reach 8.44, minimally, better $8.70. Then we should see a 4 and a 5. So I don't believe that count at this stage. It takes 5 waves to $9.11 to suggest a low is in. That being said, maybe we don't even see 5 waves and it's still bullish. And that's the problem, because we're dealing with a diagonal. And if this is the yellow count overall and we're dealing with a diagonal, the wave 5, yeah, might not form 5 waves. Yeah, it's probably a 3-wave move. But then again, this could be the A wave, and it's all completely messy. It's not an easy chart to trade. Yeah, especially not if you're looking at the micro. I think the only reliable trade setup I see at the moment would be, I mean, it's not even reliable, but a decent pullback would be here into this yellow zone. But there are much clearer charts, okay? This is just a mess. So, but this is still a support area to watch between 439 and 584. If there is another dip, it's likely to test 584, 519, or 439. That would be quite low though. But at the same time, we can pay attention to the trend line. If that breaks, we might see the price travel towards 795 next. And then maybe the area here, ideal third wave target range, 844 and 869. These will be some levels to watch as well. Then there's structural resistance here at this X wave high at around 860. So at least it gives us some levels to watch. You might now ask, okay, when do I know that the price is really coming down in that C wave there? Yeah, to complete the correction, make one more low. That could happen, of course, at any time. Well, a break below $6.58, the last swing low, would certainly accelerate the downside pressure. But then we need to still pay attention to that trend line here, which I can adjust a little bit, to be honest. I didn't pay much attention to that, but actually I think we should. Just sort of a little bit like that. It's not, maybe more like that even. I don't know. See, that's where trend lines are a little bit subjective. Yeah, that's sort of what I'm watching at the moment here on the dot chart. The situation hasn't really changed. There is a potential for one more low. Easily, yeah, easily possible. And it's often worth assuming, you know, that a correction is still unfolding until a first 5-wave pattern to the upside has unfolded. And that would mean we need to see 5 waves up to around about $9.11. There's no way of predicting we've already bottomed. I can only highlight to you at this stage the correction looks technically complete. We already have 3 waves down, yeah. But it's also not perfect looking at the proportions. So one more low is definitely a reasonable assumption, but we don't need it. We don't need it. Okay, so it's the market might choose to rally straight away. The problem is, again, structurally, it moves in corrective patterns. So again, you can always go long with the stop below the last swing low, right? It's quite straightforward. You can always do that. It's just from a probabilities point of view. I don't have a clear favorite here at the moment. Yeah, I will start to lean towards the yellow count once we see the wave 3 at least reach 844. Then we can explore it, but then at least I can add a support area for wave 4, and then we can look if we can get wave 5. Then we add another support area, and that's how we climb higher. That's my update about DOT. Hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Also, make sure that you follow us on Instagram and Twitter for additional content. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.